Hey, everybody. It's the Small Changes Are Huge Thought of the Day. And today is Tuesday, August 4th. Tuesday, August 4th. And we've had a couple of things happen here I'm in New York, but I want to talk about what the thought of the day is. I always kind of laugh at the beginning of the thought of the day because sometimes when I choose the thought of the day, not only have things occurred like the 10, 12, 24, sometimes 36 hours beforehand, but sometimes after I think of the thought of the day, quite a number of other things happen afterward that are just in within that same theme. And the topic is next. And so I got an email earlier today about a project I was supposed to be in, and the gentleman who's the producer, the writer, he said, it's with great regret that we're just going to have to reschedule the project. And at first, I was not surprised. What happened though is that I got to the point where I said I had a feeling. I had a gut feeling. So I know this is not my gut. This is my heart. I know my gut is like way down here, but my heart spoke to me in that moment, in those few moments, and I really just said, okay, I understand. I see what's going on because the whole COVID situation, it's a logistical nightmare at quite a number of points. Got a lot of emails. Okay, next. And I actually did this when I read the email. I talked about this last week, so not jazz hands, but I just went, okay. And it was kind of like I'm just giving it over. I'm just handing it over I'm handing it over to higher power, handing it over to the universe, handing it over to God, to spirit, to guidance. I have friends that are atheist, agnostic, and they say, I'm just handing it over to fate. I'll accept whatever happens and then move on from there. Because, there's certain things that I can't change. And I can't change the way you deal with stuff. I can just really change my reaction. Now, if we're doing something in a project together, we have to have synergy. So this man was very professional. And instead of waiting, because the shoots were supposed to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and instead of waiting and I was a part of projects like 15, 20 years ago where they would tell us like Thursday, sorry, project's canceled. He was professional about it. He sent an email out. Dig this. He sent the email out at 2 a.m. So he probably had a lot of, a lot of thinking before he sent it out to the group. And I understand 100%. And it's just, it amazes me that, it's not that I'm not upset, but it's just like things happen. And I was just like, oh, okay, next. Now, it's funny because twice in my life before this happened where I just said, oh, okay, next. And one time I was at a job and I had another week. The job was not supposed to end that Friday, but the next week. And I found out, I actually, kind of put in to be full-time there. And I found out very haphazardly that they hired someone else and that new person starts on Monday. So I was there as a consultant and it was like, wow, okay. And after I cursed a little bit under my breath, I ate my lunch. I just said, okay, next. I think I actually trained a class in the afternoon and I just turned it over and I said, okay, something will happen. No, I didn't say something will happen. I'll just say, oh, okay, I'm turning it over to you, HP, just turning it over to God. And I checked my email, I think about 4 o'clock, 4:30, and I checked my email and someone emailed me and said, guess what, we're looking for you. Are you free after this project is finished? Because the next Monday, there's a new project starting and it's a new 2-month project and we wanted you for that. That's like gold to anyone who's a consultant. That's like gold to your ears, really. And it was in 2009, right around like the late part of the crash, because I was like, there was about 8-9 months where I was just living on savings for that period of time. And guess what, I couldn't get unemployment. Now with COVID, there were people that are consultants that can get unemployment. They didn't have that back then. So I was like living on some cash jobs and my savings. at that point, and it was really tough. I became a vegetarian. I've talked about that. I became a vegetarian through that period of time because meat was just too damn expensive. And not embarrassed to say that because it was a learning experience, just like this was a learning experience. And I actually laughed about next is the thought of the day because after I said that, and I think I read my email just before 8 this morning, 8 a.m. this morning. So that was a big thing that happened. There was something else that happened earlier in the day. And then 3 other things happened that I was like, oh, okay, next. And I said, what is God trying to tell me? And I said, okay, I'm just going to turn it over. So no, I didn't have like, after I said next, immediately, I didn't have like suddenly there was a choir outside my window or, although we did have a little bit of the hurricane here, it was basically a tropical storm and a lot of trees in my area because there's a beautiful park right kind of in front of my building. There were a lot of limbs that fell down and I had to close all my windows because I had my windows open. I'm telling you, you should have seen the drapes just flying. But anyway, so no, that's really the only insane thing that happened. But there was like no, like I said, there was no choir, there was no, I didn't win the lottery or suddenly find like money coming down instead of rain coming down. It was just that quiet sense of I'm doing the right thing. I'm turning it over to God. I'm doing the right thing. So with that, small changes are huge. The thought of the day is next. Next, that's a little bit nicer to hear. The timbre is a little bit better. So what are you kind of holding on to? And it's funny, a couple of topics ago, we talked about, people kind of, oh, it should be like this. Why isn't this happening like this? What are you holding on to that you could just say, you know what, I'm going to let it go and just say, next. What are you doing? Because for me, my body, my mind, my spirit, my heart, remember I joked about this is my gut. I know it's my heart, but my heart speaks to me. And my heart spoke to me and said, you know what? So this, I'm just going to turn it over and whatever happens, happens. And it's a learning experience. Everything has to be a learning experience. Whether I think of something as good, something is bad, and that's just my thoughts. Good, bad, indifferent, just things that happen. Everything is a learning experience. And I'm just so grateful for learning experiences. So small changes are huge. Thought of the day. Topic next. What can you look in your life and say next to? Just turning it over and saying next. And what I'd love for people to do, what you do after you watch this video, whether you're watching it this evening, whether you're watching it in the morning, I don't care when you're watching it. Whenever you do, just sit down on your couch and write down what things that you can just let go of and say, next. Write down about 15 of them. Write down about 15. Number 1, whatever that is. Okay, next. Sit with it for a few moments. Whatever the second one is. Okay, there it is. Okay, next. And just go through the entire list and see what happens after you go through that entire list. So small changes are huge. Thought of the day. Whew, what do you need to say next to? Next. I know. It's tricky the first few times, but it's just like a muscle. You can't do 20 push-ups the first time you do push-ups. You have to kind of work up to it. Same thing with this. You got to say next, and you got to start somewhere. Start where you are. 15 is too much. 15 makes your head explode. You pick a number and you do it. It's really about that small change in your life, committing to it, and just watch what happens and watch what you can turn over. This is Crystal Williamson with the Small Changes Are Huge Thought of the Day. Today is August 4th. Next. And you can do jazz hands too after that. Everybody, I'll see you tomorrow because every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I do the Thought of the Day. Everyone have a good one. Bye-bye.